Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV. Well, welcome to this preview in the upcoming Spurs game versus Manchester City at the Etihad on Saturday. Now, this is with Tottenham fan Chris Cowlin, and as you know, we did a preview with him last season, and he's sent me through 6 questions that I'm going to answer. So his first one says, well, Man City really set the tone yet again, winning 5-0 away from home in the Premier League. Are you expecting City to win the league again and in style, or do you believe it will be tight between Liverpool and all the likes of Tottenham? Yeah, I think teams have improved this season, I must admit. Certainly think Spurs are one of those teams that have invested in players. Obviously, United have improved, so I'm expecting United to be better this season. But I still think it's possibly going to be between City, Spurs and Liverpool, with maybe even Arsenal pushing in there. They've made a couple of decent signings as well. Do I think it's going to be as close? If I'm really honest, no, I don't. I think City will win the league, and I'm guessing, I think it's one game in, but I'm guessing 4 or 5 points maybe the gap this time around. Do I think we'll get 98 points this season? I doubt it. I think I'm going to go for early 90s, so maybe 92, 93. So I think Spurs and Liverpool will definitely push us close. But I can't see another 98 versus 97 points this season, if I'm honest. Okay, so these are my questions to Chris, starting with question number 1. And that is, you've made 3 signings this particular summer, which is a bit of a change for Spurs. Out of the 3 signings, which one do you think will enhance your team? And does it mean more pressure on the team to win trophies this season?
Well, thanks for that question to start, Andy. Of course, every Tottenham fan is super excited to have signings. Let's face it, it took Tottenham Hotspur Football Club over 500 days to sign a single player. Every fan in the land were just super excited that we actually signed players. To get 4 in this summer transfer window is an absolute dream. Now, we actually announced very early on in the summer that Jack Clark, a young midfielder from Leeds, looks a super talent, but then he went straight back out on loan to Leeds for the season. So I suppose that one really can't count in the 4, but overall, you know, we've got 4 signings, but he went straight out on loan. Tanguy Ndombele from Lyon looks a superb player. Cannot wait to see more of him. Of course, he did score his debut goal at home against Aston Villa at the weekend. But the ones that I think people are really talking about is Giovanni Lechero from Real Betis. Super talented midfield player. Whether he is a replacement for Christian Eriksen, whether Christian Eriksen leaves or not, but it will just be excellent to have such a gifted midfielder playing for us. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him play. It's probably the one that I am most excited about, Giovanni Lechero, and I just hope that he makes his debut at the Etihad on Saturday. The other signing is, of course, out injured at the moment, Ryan Sessegnon. We all know a lot about him. Played in the Premier League for Fulham last year, and also played 2 previous seasons in the Championship for Fulham. Still only 19, and he's had 3 years of good experience for Fulham. But overall, I think it was a good transfer window for Tottenham. I think it will be an excellent transfer window for Tottenham if we don't have any players leave in any European transfer windows until the 31st of August. So fingers crossed for us on that front.
Okay, Chris's second question then. How has it been as a City fan for the last few years, being practically unbeatable in the league, playing such quality football and high-scoring games? Yeah, I mean, it's been an absolute dream. There's no denying that. It's been absolutely fantastic. The football that, you know, Pep Guardiola has taken this Manchester City team, and we were pretty decent before, let's not forget. We won the league under Mancini and Pellegrini. But the level of football quality is just phenomenal. It really is. I know in the first half against West Ham on Saturday, first 20-25 minutes, we looked out of our stride, but then Pep got them in at half-time, clearly told them what they needed to do and where they were going wrong, and then suddenly second half, total domination. And You know, it is incredible. You know, you're seeing players of the quality of Kevin De Bruyne, who was out for most of last season. He's only, I mean, if he gets anywhere near the level of his previous season's form, wow, it's like having a new player. We brought in Rodri, now a very classy player, to eventually replace Fernandinho. We brought in the pace of Cancelo, so we're not yet, basically we're yet to see him either. And then we're getting the likes of Gabi Jesus into the team, number 9 for Brazil, and he's going to push Sergio again this season. And then Phil Foden's going to get more game time as well. And we've got our player of last season, Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez. You know, if he starts hitting the form that he showed at Leicester, obviously we've lost Leroy Sané, but Leroy was in and out of the team last season. So yes, it's just phenomenal being a Manchester City fan at the moment, watching. It's such a joy to watch. It really, really is. My second question to Chris then. Your first game of the season, you managed to overcome Villa 3-1 with 3 fairly late goals. I thought Villa actually exposed some of your weaknesses in defence, certainly in that first half, on numerous occasions. Are you disappointed you didn't bring in more sort of reinforcements in the defensive line or in the back?
If I'm completely honest, I was disappointed when Kieran Trippier left. And I think that Pochettino's idea of certainly the right-back position, I think his idea of getting Juan Foyth to actually play right-back, and then that all went out the window when Juan Foyth actually picked up an injury against Bayern Munich in the Audi Cup a couple of weeks ago. We're left with Kyle Walker-Peters and Serge Aurier. There has been rumours that Serge Aurier actually wants to move. Kyle Walker-Peters, though, young right back, has always done very, very well for us when he's come into the team. A very young defender, but I can see Serge Aurier probably playing in the right back position Saturday against Manchester City. But am I disappointed overall that we didn't get any defenders in the transfer window? Yes, I am. I just hope that we do strengthen in January. I think Tottenham have shown the intent that they want to spend money and they want to improve the squad. So I have no doubt that the management team will look at our defence and want to strengthen that again in January. So let's hope that happens.
Chris's question 3 is, which of your players will really turn it on for the Tottenham game this Saturday? It's one of those, isn't it? It's like, who could it be? We've seen, obviously, Raheem Sterling's hit the ground running yet again. He's just getting better and better and better, and he's still only, he's not even hit his peak, or he won't hit his peak for another 2-3 years. Bernardo Silva didn't play, was rested against West Ham, so he comes back. We know Bernardo Silva brings us exceptional quality. Will Sergio start, or will he just keep with Gabi Jesus and give Sergio a bit more of a rest? But for me, the one player I think, even though we won the domestic treble for the first time ever last season, the one player we still missed last season was Kevin De Bruyne. And if he looks like he's getting somewhere back to where he was the season before. So for me, the player you've got to stop is Kevin De Bruyne. My third question to Chris then is all about Christian Eriksen. What's going on?
Now, if there's one deal I really, really do hope that gets done, and that is Christian Eriksen signing a brand new contract at Spurs. Do I see it happening? I don't know. I really don't. But I would love for him to stay at Spurs. He's no doubt one of my favourite players, an exceptionally gifted footballer, makes the Spurs midfield tick, and so much comes from him. These stats that I actually read yesterday, since Christian Eriksen has actually signed for Spurs and made his debut in the Premier League, chances created 550. He ranks first in the Premier League for that. Assists 60. He ranks first in the Premier League rankings for that. Direct free kicks 7. He ranks first in the Premier League rankings for that. Goals outside the box 22, ranking first. Set play assists 23, ranking first. They are some amazing stats, but he has been linked with a move to Juventus. I don't know whether Daniel Levy will cash in on selling him before any European transfer windows at the end of the month. If he was to go to Juventus, then you're talking days now of that deal happening, because their European or their Italian transfer window ends on the 18th of August, so that's not long away now. But I just hope the deal gets done, I really do, and I just hope that he signs a new contract. The choices are: sell him now, offer him the £200,000 a week that's being rumoured. Apparently he's on £80,000 to £90,000 a week at the moment, so you'd actually be doubling his pay. Or we do run the risk of him leaving on a free transfer at the end of the season. I just hope that he signs a deal at Spurs very, very soon. And I certainly hope that he plays on Saturday at the Etihad against Manchester City.
And Chris's question 4. What have you made of Tottenham's transfers, and do you think Spurs can win a trophy this season? Wow. Well, you brought in Ndombele, a player I've followed and watched. I saw him when I went out to Lyon to watch City in the Champions League when we drew with them 2-2. He was an absolute beast. And right after that game, for me, when we knew that we needed a replacement for the likes of Fernandinho, he topped my list. I'll be honest with you. I thought he was a phenomenal player. He was an absolute beast that night. Just quick, strong, run with the ball. And I think it's a 54 million quid in this day and age. The likes of defenders of Harry Maguire and others going for 80 million plus. I think it's a brilliant signing for you guys. I know you've also brought in Sessegnon, who we'll wait and see. He's such a baby. But for £24.3 million, I think it's a decent signing. I saw him last season against us, and he wasn't great, if I'm honest. But he's a baby, and he'll only get better. You've got Lo Celso on loan. I think that might be a decent signing for you. And then you brought in Clark, was it from Leeds, for just under 10 million. I don't know much about him, I'll be honest with you. Will you win a trophy? Well, you can't complain now, because you've actually gone out and spent some money for a change. So I'm guessing you could, if you wanted to, go all in for maybe the Carabao Cup, the League Cup, the FA Cup. Obviously, you got to the final last year against Liverpool, so I can't see any reason why not, if you can stop Manchester City. My 4th question to Chris then: what are your realistic targets for this season?
Realistic targets. I am a big believer of put the best team out in any competition. I'm a great fan of the FA Cup and a great fan of the League Cup. And I just hope that Tottenham take these competitions seriously and just go all out to win them. I know Pochettino has always aimed high in his management at Spurs, always wanting to win the Premier League or the Champions League. We came so close on the 1st of June. Difficult to talk about, actually. Every Tottenham fan was so happy to be in that Champions League final, and after 28 seconds or so, it was just ruined, and that was it, game over. But realistic targets for this season, I think, is any trophy, any domestic trophy, League Cup, FA Cup, Premier League, Champions League. I think probably unrealistic. But the League Cup or FA Cup I would certainly take, and another top 4 finish. This is Pochettino's 6th season in charge, so I really do think a trophy needs to be delivered at the end of this season.
And Chris's 5th question: lots of talk about Christian Eriksen leaving Spurs. Would you like him at City, and how do you think Spurs would miss him if he left? Well, he did all right without him. He came on as a substitute against Villa. Is he a good player? Very, very good player. I think last season his head got turned. I don't know why. Because, let's face it, he's playing for a team that's just got to the Champions League final and potentially could have won it on their day. So they're right up there. Spurs are right up there, fighting for the title. So they're in the top 4 regularly. Could he fit into the City system right now? Yes, he could. Would he be a regular starter in this City 11? No, I don't think so. And I'll be honest with you, even though I think he's a very, very good player, he'd probably have to fit into the squad system. You only had to look at the bench we had out at West Ham. I mean, my lord, they'd walk into any team in world football, some of those players. So Eriksen is a wonderful player, and I'd be very, very shocked if you didn't do everything possible to keep him, because I think if you lost him, you're missing something, that real creativity. Now, I know others have stepped up to the mark, Harry Winks and others, but Eriksen brings class, real class. So for me, would he get in the City first 11? No. Would he get in the City squad? Yes. Whose position would he replace? Nobody's. He'd be vying for a position with the likes of David Silva, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, these type of players. He wouldn't walk into our current 11 right now, but he'd be a wonderful addition to our squad. Okay, Chris's sixth question. Predicted City lineup and score prediction. We've been having chats about predicted lineup and things like that. I mean, with Pep Guardiola, you just can never call it. Saturday, didn't expect Laporte to start. Thought he was still had a niggle. He starts. Did I expect Mahrez to come in over Bernardo Silva? No chance, but he did. So it's very difficult. I've always said it's very difficult trying to, guess a Pep Guardiola starting lineup. If I had to put my mortgage on it, and I had no choice, I would say Ederson in net, Walker right back, Stones Laporte centre backs, Zinchenko left back, Rodri holding, Kevin De Bruyne with David Silva, Sterling, Aguero this time, and maybe even Gabby Jesus or Mahrez playing on the wing. I don't know. I mean, how can you drop Mahrez after such a wonderful game against West Ham? You could argue, how could you drop Gabby Jesus after he did really well? But for me, Sergio fit and ready is a certain starter for me. Sterling is just Sterling. He gets into the team every week unless he needs a rest. So it's very difficult to pick. That's a guess. I have no idea. I might be totally wrong, and he picks 3 or 4 different players to bring them in. He may even give Cancelo his debut after Walker had such a great game on Saturday, and drop Walker, or put Walker as centre back and play Cancelo. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Mendy could be back. I mean, but I doubt it. So yeah, it's one of those. As for score prediction, I think it'll be a tight game. I keep saying 3-1, 3-1, 3-1, and I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with 3-1. Man City win 3-1, but it's always a close game against Spurs, generally. 1-0 last season in between those Champions League fixtures. So, yeah, I'm going to go City 3-1 win. And my fifth question is, what's your predicted starting lineup for the game against Manchester City on Saturday? And what do you think the score's going to be?
Predicted lineup. I'm exactly the same as you, Andy, on this one. You're saying that Pep Guardiola changes his teams and you can never predict the lineup. Very, very similar with Pochettino. Sometimes he makes decisions which baffle fans of not putting certain players in. One of those was last Saturday, Aston Villa. No Jan Vertonghen in the squad. We just cannot call it. I'm just hoping that we put obviously the best 11 out. And one thing is for sure, when Manchester City meet Spurs, it is an entertaining game. It is end-to-end stuff, and no team, Manchester City or Spurs, are going to sit back or go for a draw. Both teams want the 3 points, and both teams will want to win. One thing is for sure, that I do hope that Giovanni Lechero is involved. As I said earlier in the video, hugely excited. Can't wait to see him play. Does that mean that if he plays, then Christian Eriksen won't play as well? Of course, he was a substitute and arguably changed the game when he came on. So Tottenham do have a lot of options. We do still have a couple of players out as well. Score-wise, if you ask most Tottenham fans will probably take a draw. That's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to go for a 1-1 or a 2-2 draw. Obviously hoping that Tottenham will win. We had an amazing night at the Etihad, and you probably won't thank me for mentioning this. An amazing night. I know you won the game 4-3, but when we went through on away goals and obviously then went through to play Ajax, what a night. So we have had a great night up at the Etihad last season, but equally so, a couple of days later, we played you in the Premier League and you won the game 1-0. I do think it would be a close game, but one thing is for sure, as I said, it will be an entertaining one.